I've been searching for true love. Gotta keep right on searching till I find. Nothing good comes easy, this I know. Gotta keep right on searching till I find. That I've been searching for true love. Gotta keep right on searching till I find. Nothing good comes easy, this I know. Gotta keep right on searching till I find. Man, I've been trying hard, mighty hard to find true love. But as yet, I ain't had much luck. But I'll keep trying till I find. You know the Bible said, if you seek, you will find. Ain't no doubt, Bible must be right. Well, I'll keep right on with my search. That I've been searching for true love. Gotta keep right on searching till I find. Nothing good comes easy, this I know. Gotta keep right on searching till I find. Yes, I've been searching for true love. Gotta keep right on searching till I find. Nothing good comes easy, this I know. Gotta keep right on searching till I find.
How you found it during the course of your research?
Well, I must say that God deserves the glory. It wasn't really very easy or tough, especially working in an environment that is full of challenges. But today, it's a success story, and I think God deserves the thanksgiving and the praise. So I really glorify Him for what He has done in my life.
Like, what, do you have any message to your fellow colleagues that are yet to attend the site?
Yeah, hard work, perseverance, dedication, and of course prayer. These are the things I believe have brought me to where I am now. It is not so much because I'm clever, because I am exceptionally gifted. But God has been so kind to me, God has been so wonderful. He has surrounded me with friends, with family, people who have helped me in my journey. So I can't take the glory. God is the one who deserves the glory.
What did you have a message to the students, the aspiring students?
Yeah, I was like them at a certain point in time. I looked at people who were doing inaugural lectures, my lecturers, my professors, and I believe that that's the way they're looking at me now. But the only thing which I can help them is to be hardworking, to be industrious, to be committed to their work. When you do the right at the right time, you find results. So those of them who think coming to school is just a while away time and then to misuse the opportunity, my advice to them is that they should be committed to their work, they should be dedicated, they should be hardworking, they should be conscientious, and ultimately success will be their crowning glory.
That's the start. How long can it does it take you to reach this actual stage that you are?
There is no specific time or duration. There are people who were already lecturers before I started university education, but they haven't attained this height. That is why I was saying that it's God. There are some of the people who taught me as an undergraduate who are yet to be professors. So it's not, you can't begin to talk about duration. Yeah. If God is so kind to you, you are hardworking, you are productive, perhaps, but there are a whole lot of things. So there is no determinate period you can say, okay, I must get it at this time. As a matter of fact, as a student, I was even thinking that I will, for instance, get my professorship before I was even 40 years. But I got it at 45. So you can see there is no way you can determine it.
Okay, that's great. Wish you congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank
Let's
you.
see how the Inaugural lecture will take place.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and God bless.
Thank you.
Two targeted programs, salient aspects of media and communication are distilled in seminars remains unmatched in our immediate environment. So, why don't you and Mama Salendem Tsaaior. He is a native of Ugi in Ushongo. In 2009 as a senior lecturer.
principal officers of the university, deans of schools, all directors here present, management, faculty, staff and students of Pan-Atlantic University, Reverend Fathers here present, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. Vice Chancellor, I welcome you all to the 7th inaugural lecture of Pan-Atlantic University. One unique feature of university academic life is the delivery of inaugural lectures by faculty who have distinguished themselves in their chosen field of study. A forum where the celebrant is the focus of attention and the audience is not allowed to ask questions after the delivery of his lecture. Today's inaugural lecture is not an exception. It provides a platform for the academic to present his body of research, which he has been focusing on during his career. Furthermore, it offers him the opportunity to showcase his research with members of the wider university community and the general public in an accessible way. Before we proceed, permit me to introduce the members of the high table. Of the School of Media and Communication, Dr. Ikechukwu Obiaya. Please give him a round of applause. Close to him is Professor Chantal Epie. She's the Dean of the School of Management and Social Sciences. Seated close to her is no other person than Professor James Tsaaior, the professor for whom we have all gathered here today. And next to him is the Vice Chancellor of Pan-Atlantic University, Professor Juan Elegido. And next to him is Dr. Enase Okonedo. She's the Dean of the Lagos Business School. Okolo, Registrar Pan-Atlantic University. Professor James Tsaaior is a professor of cultural communication in the School of Media and Communication. He will today deliver his inaugural lecture titled Nightjar in the Forest, the Word in the World of Science and Wonders, which will provide him with the opportunity to inform colleagues, the campus community, and the general public of his work to date, including current research and future plans. May I now invite to the podium the Vice Chancellor, Professor Juan Elegido, to formally present to this assembly the inaugural lecturer, who we have all come here to celebrate. Please join me in welcoming to the podium the Vice Chancellor.
The members of the Governing Council here present, the deans and directors of various units of Pan-Atlantic University, the registrar, bursar, and other principal officers here present, Professor James Tsaaior today will be delivering his inaugural lecture, staff and students of the university, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this occasion, in which a newly appointed professor professes publicly before representatives of the whole university. Professor Tsaaior was appointed Professor of Culture and Communication of Pan-Atlantic University on the recommendation of the Appointments and Promotions Committee by resolution of the Governing Council of the University on its meeting of the 17th of May 2016. James Bonaventure Tsaaior was born on the 15th of July 1970 to the family of Pa Tsaaior Raza and Mama Salenden Tsaaior. He is a native of Uge in Usongo local government area of Benue State. He started his formal education at the local government primary school, Zege, in 1976, which he completed at the local government primary school, Uge, in 1982. The same year, he proceeded to the government secondary school and graduated with distinction in his General Certificate in Education in 1987. Besides being the head boy of the school, he also obtained the best result for that year and was the school valedictorian. In November 1987, he got admission into the prestigious School of Basic Studies, now Alfred Dorfula College of Advanced and Professional Studies, Makurdi, for his interim joint matriculation examination, A-level, and finished his two-year program in 1989. In Makurdi, he became the president of the Young Catholic Students Makurdi Diocese. In 1991, he got admission to Nigeria's premier university, the University of Ibadan, and graduated at the top of his class with MBA Honours Degree in English in 1995. After the mandatory National Youth Service in Akwa Ibom State, he returned for his MA degree in Ibadan in 1997 and completed the program, during which he taught as a graduate assistant in 1998. He was also the best graduating student in the MA program. You can see this is becoming a little boring, but so was the best student. He was a future professor. His formal university teaching career began in the year 2000, when he joined the Lagos State University, Ojo, as an assistant lecturer. He was promoted to the rank of Lecturer 2 in 2003 and Lecturer 1 in 2006. On the completion of his doctoral program in 2005, his department in Ibadan invited him to join the faculty in 2006, and he taught there till 2008. He joined Pan-Atlantic, at that time Pan-African University, in 2009 as a senior lecturer. He was appointed the pioneer head Department of Mass Media and Writing in 2010, a position he held till October 2016. Also, in 2010, he was appointed Director of Academic Planning of the University and a member of Senate. In 2012, he was promoted to the rank of Associate Professor in May this year. Between 2010 and 2011, he was visiting Liverpool, Prof and Isaac Newton Research Fellow in the Center of African Studies, University of Cambridge, United Kingdom, and a participant in the International Faculty Program of IESE Business School, Barcelona, Spain. Professor Tsaaior has also been a visiting scholar to a number of universities. These include the Department of English, University of Salento, Italy, 2008, the Department of Languages, Rhodes University, Grahamstown, South Africa, 2009, the Center for Afro-American Studies, Princeton University, USA, in 2014, the Department of English Language and Literature, the Faculty of Arts, Cairo University in Egypt, 2014, and Barnard College, Columbia University, New York, 2015. Professor Tsaaior is a scholar of remarkable breadth and depth, who has made substantial contributions to the fields of cultural and popular studies, literature, folklore, communication, and media. The subjects he has investigated range from literary texts and genres, including political literature, such as his work on President Obama, to issues of popular culture, such as football and Nollywood films. The topic that has occupied him particularly and on which he has had a significant impact is that of nationhood and nationality in literature. It should also be noted that much of his published work is interdisciplinary in nature. A learned critic and academic has said of his work that, and I quote, he repeatedly demonstrates a penchant for the robust sentence and a preference for the purple word of modern critical jargon, and seems incapable of resisting a bomb, even at the heart of a crucial argument, unquote. I suspect that anybody who has read some of Professor Tsaior's work will appreciate what this commentator is talking about. He has published over 70 research articles in local and international peer-reviewed journals, and many chapters in books. He is also the author of the following books: Renegotiating Nationhood through the Nigerian Filming Tradition, Nollywood and the Logic of Language, Culture and Narrativity, African Literature and the Politics of Culture, Politics and the Postcolonial Text, Africa and its Diasporas. He has edited the following books: Journalism and New Media Technologies in Africa, with Professor Inaugural and others, Fact of Fiction and Fiction of Fact, the novel tradition and its character, and Fundamentals of English Grammar. He has been an external PhD assessor in Gandhigram University, India, and is editor of the SMC Journal of Cultural and Media Studies. Professor Tsaaior has also held editorial positions on the board of several Nigerian national dailies, including the Daily Independent and the National Interest. Professor Tsaaior is a member of many professional and learned societies, including the International Society of Oral Literature in Africa, the African Literature Association, the South African Folklore Society, the Association of Nigerian Authors, the Association for the Study of New English Literature, the Postcolonial Studies Association, and the African Studies Association of the UK. Professor Tsaaior is married with 4 children. So, as you can see, Professor Tsaaior is a scholar through and through, and a man who richly deserves the title of professor. He has always been the most committed member of the School of Media and Communication, and Pan-Atlantic University is happy and honored to count him among its faculty. Now I invite Professor Tsaaior to deliver his inaugural lecture in the university.
Vice Chancellor, Pan-Atlantic University, Professor Juan Manuel Leído, Professor Emeritus Albert Alice, the founding Vice Chancellor, Professor Emebo Anselm Diakolo, the founding Dean, School of Media and Communication, and Director of the PhD program. Professor Chantal Appiah, Dean, School of Management and Social Sciences. Dr. Enase Koledo, Dean, Lagos Business School. assembly to perform a ritual richly steeped in university culture and tradition. It is the timeless tradition of universities all over the world for academics who have devoted their valuable time, academic resources, and intellectual energies in their chosen fields of interest to profess knowledge in such areas. On this day, in this place, at this time, I do so in fidelity to this tradition. I do so with deep and sincere gratitude to the Pan-Atlantic University and sentiments they share in common. As a ritual, therefore, the inaugural lecture announces the academic as a high priest of the court of ideas. As high priest, the inaugural lecturer is believed to have privileged access to the repertoire of incantations and the canon of knowledge with which to exercise of his talent and infectious curses. The inaugural lecture is also a testimonial rite. It testifies that the lecturer possesses the requisite curating powers to pour academic libations and burn intellectual incense necessary to exorcise the reckless demon of ignorance from the souls of infected votaries. On this day, in this place, at this time, I exercise with humility the powers and privileges this office confers. This office of academic high priest confers. My staff of office is the perpetual resources of the word. My dividing chain is the tapestry of science and symbols and the richly layered images and meanings the word evokes and provokes. Vice Chancellor, the inaugural lecture is not only a right, it is also a right of becoming, a right to become. This is why the inaugural lecture constitutes a defining watershed in the life of every academic. It is the end and the beginning and the end. It is also a moment of arrival and departure, a moment of departure and arrival. This is a paradox. The inaugural lecture represents the end of the beginning because it volunteers a historical reconnaissance into the past when the academic began a scholarly and intellectual voyage. After many years of sailing on the rough and tough tidal waves of scholarship, the academic ship arrived at the safe shores and rested in the harbor. But the destiny of the ship does not reside in the harbor. It is in sailing the high seas of the world. Thus, the end of one journey signals the beginning of another. The beginning of another end after the end of the initial beginning. Vice Chancellor, I am deeply aware that on this day, in this place, at this time, I am embarking on another academic journey in the liminal and uncharted geography which lies conceived in the womb of time. This departure, this beginning of the end, coincides with the moment of this inaugural lecture and the period succeeding it, during which I am expected to engage in cutting-edge research with greater resolve and renewed energy. As High Priest of the Academic and Intellectual Court, the office and chair I occupy compel me to invite society to communion in the fattening room to fed it with the rich and concentrated ambrosia of knowledge and ideas through quality teaching, relevant research, and productive community service. I shall approach this task with the industry and conscientiousness it deserves. Vice Chancellor, I am also aware that sometimes the duty of a high priest can be incredibly challenging, so I approach it with some trepidation, hoping that I have not entered the proverbial one chance. However, native wisdom proclaims that the protestation of the innocent chick do not prevent or stop the sacrifice. If anything, the protestations enrich the sacrifice and lessen its value and efficacy. On this day, in this place, at this time, I am the sacrificial chick. I am also the priest who presides over the sacrifice. With the high priest them immensely for not closing the narrow door to me. I will also not close it to those coming after me. This is a solemn public promise, so you can hold me accountable if I do that later. Vice Chancellor, my broad field of research is media and communication. However, my specific area of specialty is cultural communication. My doctorate at the University of Ibadan was in English, but with specific interest in oral and cultural communication. In my doctoral research, I explored cultural communication and its interface with indigenous oral narrative traditions, and investigated the ability of oral traditions to narrativize and communicate the politics of gender and minority discourses in patriarchal societies, including my native chief culture in central Nigeria. Since then, research in oral media, culture, and cultural communication has been my life. The business of how culture and communication structure and mediate diverse but related areas such as literary studies, oral media, new media, film and cinema cultures, musical expressions, sports, foodways, and cultural studies has been my business. I have therefore learned how to conjugate text and context despite their latent contexts, denotation with connotation, metaphor with metonymy, simile with synecdoche, sign with symbol, signifier with signified, paradox with personification, anticlimax with antinomisia, and culture with media and communication. My program therefore belongs to the sociology and anthropology of media and communication culture. My question is, what then is culture? Culture is a notorious and slippery concept to apprehend as it defies neat and precise definitions. To appropriate epistemes from its Latin roots, colere, cultura, and cultus, culture is a term more than agricultural science. It means to inhabit, till, tend, or nature, a land, or place. Hence, the word cultivate. In the biological sciences, it denotes the creation of conditions of growth, like that of bacteria. In a spiritual sense, culture is derived from cult, a religious ethic, culture, which translates to a specialized knowledge available to those who are initiates and who are held by certain rigid and strict tenets directed to the veneration of a figure or thing. Cult as a term is neutral or innocuous depending on how it is appropriated and used or abused. It has, however, acquired a controversial, pejorative, and deviant connotation with negative energies. Benefiting from agrarian metaphors, culture can be said to be the habitation of a space with the intent to cultivate and tend it. It is also the cultivation of the mind or soul, a disciplining of the human body, spirit, and intellect, so as to overcome the primeval instincts of barbarism and Philistinism. Culture is the sum total of our lives as individuals, groups, and societies. It is the antipode of nature, an index of civilization. Indeed, it is inconceivable to think human civilization without thinking culture. It is what makes us rational and social beings, different from other creatures. We are born into culture, live in culture, and exist within it, and transmit it to our progeny. Culture is also an important agent of socialization within and among human communities. It is a living tissue. It is not static, fixed, frozen, or invariant. Rather, it is dynamic and a state of perpetual flux. It is constantly evolving or changing in fidelity to human existential conditions and the historical process. Culture can therefore be broadly defined as a combination of the learned behavior of a group of people that is generally generation to generation. It is the whole way of life, material, intellectual, and spiritual, which confers concrete identity on a group or people. Culture is not the collective programming of the mind which distinguishes the members of one group or category from another. This idea is acknowledged by students of culture, evolutionists, revolutionists, and functionalists. Whether studied through the diachronic or synchronic axis, culture is a cumulative deposit of knowledge, experience, beliefs, values, attitudes, meanings, hierarchies, religion, notions of time, rules, spatial relations, concepts of the universe, and material objects and possessions acquired by a group of people in the course of generations through individual and group striving. Culture also brings richness and vitality into our lives. It animates those things that make us human: meaning-making, identity, belonging. Indeed, culture has dialectical relations to communication, as culture is communication and communication culture. Cultural communication is vital and indispensable. It's a vital and indispensable aspect of all human societies, whether in its inter, cross, or transcultural dimensions. The field of cultural communication is crucially important to and among cultures. Cultural communication, however, requires cultural literacy, fluency, and intelligence to function optimally and productively. It is an aspect of communication which deals with and draws from the inexhaustible quarry of cultural ideas and knowledge, embedded in material and non-material, tangible and non-tangible aspects of culture. In cultural communication, cultural forms, verbal and non-verbal, traditional and modern, are mined and mobilized for communicative purposes with the intent of meaning-making. These cultural forms include, but are not limited to, folk tales, riddles, songs, chants, epics, myths, legends, sagas, dances, music festivals, costumes, foods, paintings, sculptures, etc. Cultural communication is spoken, but also acted, performed. It thrives on improvisational speech patterns, which invoke cultural knowledge systems, but it also benefits from performance practices, which articulate distinct messages within specific cultural contexts. Many times, these cultural forms are marked with signs and symbols, which are themselves definitive and expressive of such cultures. The cultural forms also interact with other cultures, whether they are high or low, official or popular, metropolitan or provincial, core or peripheral, global or local, folk or hybrid, among other oppositional binaries. In a postmodern, post-industrial world which is globalization and hybridity, these different cultures form, or are assumed to form, an undifferentiated whole in an increasingly multicultural world. In my initial intimations and early encounters with cultural communication, media or spoken word was more emphasized in the structuring of cultural discourses. This mode of intellection rested on the idealization of the wisdom of the folk. The word was highly valued as a property of the community. It was not an individual artifact to which accrued individual proprietary rights. The old embodied and were repositories of cultural wisdom. They constituted the cultural persona and a fulcrum around which wisdom coalesced. The fountainheads and foremost guardians of the word. They also functioned as receptacles or memory archives for the transmission of the word and culture. In the heyday of the imperial encounter, these personages were subjected to a certain cold paternalism and patronizing air, by the Western academic and intellectual establishment. It became fashionable to announce that those without the culture of writing were outside the orbit of civilization and so lacked history, philosophy, religion, literature, and culture. This was the framing and governing discourse until